Greetings, mortals! It is I, Remortis, and today I'm coming at you with a different kind of video. So, during this Labor Day weekend, I'm kind of putting a pause on some of my other videos to give Starfield a try, and I wanted to give it a proper try since I owe a lot to Bethesda, especially considering they immortalized my brother in the Nuka World DLC for Fallout 4. So I at least try to give each Bethesda game a proper try, and before I decide to, stop playing it or whatnot. But anyways, so I wanted to also play a little more thoroughly before I decide to give a review or anything like. Because I know a lot of you have been asking my thoughts on it and what I think of the game. But so initially, I was not very happy with the game, and before I decided to post a knee-jerk review or reaction video, I decided to give it a more proper try. As you can see over here, I have several complaints about the game, at least in the early game, and some of it still holds true throughout my playthrough. A lot of frustrations in terms of, this is the game they've been developing for who knows how long. Instead of, Elder Scrolls 6, I'm like, this is what they brought us. It's kind of the same issue that CD Projekt Red had with Cyberpunk. Like, they tried this whole new IP and this whole new time frame and setting. That's the word. They try this whole new type of setting, and they don't have a lot of the systems in place that other games have really developed and really done really well. Like, for example, CD Projekt Red could have probably teamed up with the folks at the GTA and tried to learn some of their techniques to get some of their systems in place. And obviously, some of those systems fell flat in Cyberpunk. But ultimately, I did enjoy Cyberpunk, and I'm actually looking forward to that expansion, hoping it changes up a lot of the gameplay in the game. And then I feel like Starfield might suffer from the same issue. So I'll be making a lot of comparisons to Cyberpunk, to Outer Worlds, and maybe even some other space games. So, like I said, initially I was really frustrated with the game. A lot of the combat I thought was just really clunky. It just felt like a reskin Fallout 4 to me. And I can see a lot of those assets being reused, which is fine. If that's what you have, you can use it, of course. But I think from just playing Fallout 4 for so many hours and just being familiar with all that kind of stuff, I just see it and it just distracts me from the game. And then also, you have the janky combat from Fallout, but you don't have VATS to make up for it. So it's just, you got to have good items and have the perks to actually fight. Otherwise, you're just going to get steamrolled. Another issue that I was noticing, I kept distracting me, was how hollow the NPCs were and how hollow a lot of the worlds felt. Because, yeah, you have all these wandering NPCs, but they're named Citizen, and you don't really say much. And of course, you got that kind of stuff in other games too, but just give them names or something, I don't know. It's just really frustrating. You go into this whole new city, and there's maybe 5 named NPCs and 20 random citizens with the name Citizen on it. Come on, just give them something. But then some other issues were I guess some of the main issues, like the exploration parts of things. What I first realized I did in my first part of the playthrough, probably about up to 10 hours-ish or so, I probably made level 12, or made it to level 12, and I was just going from mission to mission to mission to mission, instead of what I did in my second playthrough. So I ended up re-rolling and restarting. And what I did this time was, each time a mission took me to a new planet, like say for that UC mission that you can get early on, you go to this abandoned colony that got devastated or whatever, and after I dealt with that mission there, instead of just flying back home or going to the next spot, I decided to explore a little bit more, and ended up realizing that the loot system is just completely random. Because I definitely did that same mission on my first playthrough, and I didn't get really any items. The second time I was there, I got legendaries and purples and stuff, so I had a lot better gear early on too. So maybe that's why my second playthrough was a lot better. But yeah, so I took it a lot slower the second time, and I started to appreciate the game a bit more and having a lot more enjoyment. And I would say my initial thoughts, like in the first 10 hours of the game, would probably be rated a 5 or even 6 out of 10. And then the more I'm playing it, I'm sitting at about 30-ish hours right now at the time of this video. And I'd probably give it about a 7 to 8. I would probably recommend the game still, but I could also say that you could skip out on Starfield and you wouldn't really miss out on too much. But then that being said, I've been taking the game a lot slower, and getting into some of the other systems the game has to offer, like the outpost building. That's been kind of a lot of fun and what I've been spending a lot of my hours on, just getting the resources and such to get started. I kind of wish there was more of an intro quest or tutorial or something to kind of say, hey, you need a bunch of aluminum, you need a bunch of iron, you need a bunch of helium to get started. Lucky for me, though, when I did finally build my outpost, I came across a planet called Androphon, and I was just happened to doing a generic mission, and I came by it, and I'm like, hey, that's kind of like my name, because my name's Andrew in real life, so I decided to check out the planet fully, and I was just exploring some random spots in it and checking the resources out. I came across a spot that had 4 different resources in one spot, so I built an outpost there. But anyhow, so I've been delving into that system a lot more, and then the shipbuilding. Now that I finally understand how to actually properly works, because when I first got it, I kept getting frustrated. Like, what do you mean I need more mass? What do you mean I need more of this or that? It's just really frustrating to try to build a new ship or try to like modify your first ship, which is just very, very annoying. But anyways, so ultimately, I think Starfield is actually a decent game. I don't think it's as good as these other reviews that really, really annoyed me honestly. Some bigger YouTubers or other people whose opinions I really respected, they were saying, oh my god, it's like the second coming of Bethesda. They're back, baby. Yeah. I don't share that sentiment. I mean, like, yeah, Bethesda's back from 2010, and it doesn't really seem like much has changed from them. It's still a Bethesda game. Nothing groundbreaking. It's cool that they have all these systems to spend different hours in space. Cool. I think that's pretty solid. But I was just really ticked by how much these reviews are just praising this game. I don't think it's worthy of the praise. Like, it's a decent game, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's amazing either. There's a lot of just glaring issues that still frustrate me. Mostly the inventory system and the menus. Oh, and then the ultimate thing that really, really upsets me about the game, and just not this game, but other games similar to it, how companies are just designing games for consoles first and then going to PC. So our controls are just so clunky and weird. It does not feel natural, and that just really frustrates me. I mean, obviously, that's where the money is to appeal to consoles and such. But I still feel that games should be made for PC first and then console second. All right, now I want to compare my thoughts on this game compared to other games. So I will say some games like Cyberpunk I thought were a lot more enjoyable than Starfield from start to finish. The world building in Starfield is okay. I don't feel like it's as gripping. I think New World did a lot better job in their intro or like the beginning of the game and the early game. I thought that was just phenomenal. But then obviously Outer Worlds kind of fell off mid to late game. Maybe it's because of their combat or something. I don't know. I just lost interest really quick. I still really enjoyed the game, and I'm hoping that they made enough money so that when they make their second game, they can actually spend time on it and make it so the rest of the game is really good. Honestly, I wish that Obsidian and Bethesda can get over their differences and get together and make a really good game, but that's never going to happen. Too much bad blood, I suppose. But in regards to the Cyberpunk, I think Starfield's probably best compared to Cyberpunk because there's these really big studios that are known to do great games, and they just go into new genres or new settings, and they don't have the new system. Like, they bring new systems with them too, but they're nothing groundbreaking. And like I said, we get spoiled from other games, especially coming from games for like Tarkov or Armored Core or things like that. So it's really kind of frustrating. And the same thing with like shipbuilding. Back to that, like, I really want the ship fighting to be better. Like, it's not terrible, I guess, but it doesn't feel very good either. If you have fighting against more than one ship and they're about the equal guns as you, you're gonna get screwed no matter what. I wish there was more like skills we had with our ship, like barrel rolls or ways to like negate other people's firing, so that we can actually have some player skill involved instead of just, oh, me have big number, me better. I don't like that. But yeah, so I just feel like I wanted to put this out there because I know a lot of people have been asking me, and instead of just typing it over and over, I'll just post this video. That being said, I'm still enjoying Starfield, and I still need to finish the game. I definitely need to check out other planets like Neon and things like that, because I hear those are pretty fun experiences. But yeah, just give the game a chance. I would not listen to the naysayers too much, but don't invalidate them either, because a lot of the points they're complaining about are completely valid. I agree with a lot of the people are saying negative things about the game. And I don't ultimately think the game is amazing either. Like, this is definitely one of the smoothest games Bethesda's ever put out. I will say that. Like, the combats might be smooth, they're just kind of boring. Yeah, so hope you guys try Starfield out. Or if you have tried Starfield out, just give it some chance. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. I know a lot of people say, oh, give it 20 hours and then you'll come around. I mean, I guess that's kind of true, but I think it's just from discovering new systems and things like that. And just finally seeing them all meld together, and then that kind of makes things a little bit better. But anyhow, thanks for listening. I'll be putting out some Baldur's Gate 3 videos pretty soon, and we're actually coming near, and we're actually nearing 5,000 subscribers. That's pretty awesome. This last month and a half has been phenomenal for me and the channel, and I really appreciate all of you guys for checking me out and listening to my guides. Off the top of my head, I'm going to be making more of the Necronomicon videos. I know it's not too popular at the moment because, you know, Starfield's out and things like that. But, you know, with the resurgence from PS5 players playing Baldur's Gate 3, I'm sure there might be some more Baldur's Gate 3 interest coming on soon. And speaking of, with that 5,000 subscribers, I will be putting a video out and going over my thoughts on Baldur's Gate. Spoiler, I think it's a great game. But I'm going to be going over a lot of the things I appreciate about it, and some of the negatives too. But a lot of things I appreciate about it, especially from terms of being a dungeon master and things like that, like stuff they did really well. That I thought, like, oh wow, I never even thought of that, or they just did it a lot better than I ever could. Like things like Anti-Ethel or the shadows from Act 2. Like I'm like, wow, this is really good. Seeing it from from tabletop to gameplay. Anyhow, probably the next guide will probably be my superhero or my hero video. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next time. Farewell for now.